Hi everyone, it's Lynn, and it's been a while since I've just came on just to talk to you a little bit about some scrapbooking and some products. So here is a beautiful paper pack, Four Seasons Autumn, which we used in the autumn time period to create some beautiful artwork. And there was a workshop wow on it, and some of the product is still available, but this is what I have left, just the paper pack, but look how pretty this is. The idea, what I want to show you and talk to you about is not so much the paper, but other things that you can do with our product line. But close to my heart does have gorgeous paper. That is double-sided, so I always enjoy having those options. This is the layout that I created, and I wanted to show you and talk to you a little bit about adding more photos. So this was a big photo well that could have held a very large photo, but I wanted to use it for two 4x6s. And what I love to do is I always enjoy matting my photos. I actually could have used paprika, I could have used the mocha paper. I dug out of my stash a color we haven't used in quite a while, autumn terracotta. What I love about Close to My Heart products is that so many of our colors that even have been retired still work today with the new colors that we are introducing. So always check your stash. So that's one great tip. Just check to see what you have and what you can use that might coordinate within this palette of the colors that you're working with on your layout. We did do some beautiful stamping, and I always want to do my journaling, tell the story, all right? And I just love these photos. It was such a beautiful day, and I'm so glad that I already had the artwork made so I could just add my photos to them. I just trimmed them down a little bit. I only wanted 1/8 of an inch showing basically as a slight photo mat on my photos. On the coordinating page, you can see we have a 4x4 and two 3x4s. I also enjoy cutting our photos down so that I can use them for exactly the size I need, but I also print my photos in that size. If you want to know more about that, let me know. I do have a class using PhotoJet on how to do that. I also went ahead and dug through my stash and pulled out some sequins we had from last year. I love these little silver leaves and the copper little sequins, and just added a few little details along the layout. But it was such a gorgeous day, and I had plenty of more photos. Now, how many of you have had that situation where the 2-page spread just isn't enough? Well, that's where these pocket pages come in. I love using pocket pages, and this is the one I know that most of us will use the most because it holds 4x6 photos. It'll have 3 on one side and 3 on the other, but you always have the option to create a different kind of photo well, so to speak, on each one. But you can see this would be in between. If I had this in an album and I flipped through, this is in between, so you can see both sides. So once again, I used my paper, cut my photo down like 1/8 of an inch. I actually used our lip pens to write on the photo where this particular one was, instead of using a print or a label of any sort. Just made it really easy. I took a picture of my life card we had left over. I just cut it down a smidge. And I like the saying, I can smell autumn dancing in the breeze. And so I took this 4x6 photo well and split it so I could offset it with 2 photos, or a photo and a card, or I could do journaling here. I do love, changing it up and not just having photos all the way down. It just makes it easier or prettier to look at. Then I also used a little bit more embellishments, and I added some of our copper ore paper that is retired, just a smidgen. But look how well that works in the whole spread, right? So think about pulling out the colors that you have that can also coordinate within these paper packs. Now this is a Picture My Life card. I think this was from Candid Moments. So once again, the colors worked. I just covered up a little bit of that blue paper clip with some stamping and embellishments, and then I could tell part of my story here. Now when you flip it over, you'll see I have more photos. Just like I did I did my little bit of writing, and then I also took another picture of my life card and told a little bit more about what the view was all about. But I really enjoy having this opportunity to share the other ideas of how you can add more photos in between a 2-page spread. What I really love about this is that it helps contain the story within those 2 pages. It saves you time on creating another 2 pages. It saves you money on paper and accessories in designing another 2 pages. So think about using these. Now let me just show you on another layout. We did this layout last year with Lovely, and it was a completely different way to go with this particular paper pack. There were blues, there were purples, there were pinks, and I chose on this one to go with the earth tones, with the yellows and the browns and the greens. This was a vacation that we did this summer with my boys, and it was really, really special. And once again, I had a lot of photos. So instead of 2 4x6 photos, I decided to do 4 3x4s. I definitely stamped using that Moo stamp set for Cow Island, because it was here in New Hampshire. And I had more photos that I wanted to add. And this is another pocket page. So once again, you see how we seem to use more horizontal photos? So these are 4x3s. So there would be 4 of them in here. And I would print my photo out in exactly the size I need, and then I can add my journaling. So I'm always keeping my journaling cards in another spot that I can just poke through when I need a journaling card for for any of my pages. So think about that when you're using our Picture My Life cards. Pull your journaling cards out, put them on the side. You never know when you're going to use them. But we had such a great weekend, or I should say week, with the boys. And it was just a lot of fun. And not all the photos are the best photos, but you know what? It's the times that I want to remember, right? And then sometimes you have something where you want to just fill in. So you're taking your scraps and just adding another, making your own Picture My Life card. And yes, we were happy. I also ended up doing some text writing on the photo itself when I printed it, so it made my life a little bit simpler, and then just added all of these photos. So when you are opening up the book, it's going to flip through and go this way. Just letting you know that the Picture My Life cards come in 5 sizes right now. So you have the 4x6, which is a vertical, right? So it has 4 pockets. They're opened here, so you slide your photos right inside. So you can do 2 4x6, so these are your verticals, but then you could also do a 3x4 or a 4x4 if you needed to. So you can always change that up. Here is the most famous, right? We have the 6x4 pocket pages, so they have your 3 pockets for 6x4s. This is brand new. This is 4x4. Sometimes it's nice to just have this size because that's all you need, and you're cutting out the extra details, or I should say they're really not details, but the extra background that you really don't need, and focusing more on what should be in the photo. So these are new 4x4s. By the way, if you use a strap hinge album, this particular size, the 6x4s, has the slit to do strap hinge. So if you use Creative Memories, you can buy this one for that. This is the one I just showed you right here. This is your 4x3 pockets. So you can see it can do 4 here. So that's 8 photos. So remember, it's always double. So you're putting 2 pieces in each one. And this one is on the retired. This one's retired, but is still available. It still holds a 6x4, but it's split in the middle. So now you can do 3x4s vertically. You can still take a 6x4 photo and put it in here and just cut it if you need to, and to fill in all the spaces. But I really enjoy using these, having these on hand, because a lot of times I do have extra photos, and sometimes flip-flaps aren't the way I want to go. So I hope you found this really helpful and you really like the idea of using these pocket pages. Thanks so much for watching, and everything that you see here is available on lynncomo.closetomyheart.com when it comes to the pocket pages and the flip-flaps. If you have any questions about the paper, please contact me.